Hey Watch World, Bearded Watchman here. This is Brandon. Hey, I've done some modifications to my Orient Mako, and I think y'all are going to like it. I'm really kind of impressed with it. I didn't think that I would like it this much, but I put a sapphire crystal, a double dome sapphire crystal in it. I put a new coin edge bezel on it, and I put a new ceramic all black with a red triangle at the top, black ceramic bezel insert on it. And then I put a strap code in-mail bracelet on it. This watch has transformed from being a $150 watch to looking like a $500-600 watch and feeling like a $500 or $600 watch. So I think you're really going to like it. I shot a little quick video for you. So there's a shot of it. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it's really pretty sweet, man. So watch the video, tell me what you think. All right, guys, let's do this. So I've got an Orient Mako here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna upgrade this guy. We're gonna put a new bezel insert. We're gonna put a new bezel. We're gonna put a coin edge bezel, and then we're gonna put a double dome sapphire crystal in there. So I'm going to do it right here online so you can see what's going on and how to do this if you're going to do this at home. It's not super complicated. You just want to kind of go easy, and you don't want to scratch your watch. There's a couple little steps that, very simple steps that I want you to watch out for. Okay, now I'm going to set the watch aside. I'm going to show you what I'm going to put on here. I'm going to put this solid black, it's a glossy ceramic bezel. It's going to be beautiful on this watch. It's, let's see if you can, really cool. The numbers are just dark, so you can't see them unless you shoot them in the light. You've got that red spot right on the top. I think it's really going to look good on this Mako with this red little second hand there. It's going to be pretty neat looking. So we're going to do that, and then you've got a coin edge bezel here. Let me pull this out so you can see it. This is a black. It's kind of like a not brushed, but I guess they would say like bead blasted black. I think it's gonna really look good against this case. It's gonna make the case look very slim because it's gonna be black sitting on the top. So we'll see what it looks like whenever I get done here. But so let's go ahead and start this process. Oh, another thing I wanna comment is I got this strap code. This is my S&K. I got the 007. I got this strap code bracelet for it, and I love it. It's got solid end links. It's got some weight to it. It's got some screw-in crowns. I'm sorry. It's got screw-in links. It's got this good clasp that I like. Now, the only thing I didn't like about this is it's only got 3 micro adjustments there. So what I did is I found this guy, the end mill from Strap Code, that has 6 adjustments. This is brushed all on the top and polished on the sides like the Mako is. So I think this is going to be an awesome addition to this watch. It's going to make this watch look like a $500-600 watch versus a $150 watch. So let's get started. Okay, first of all, what we want to do is we want to take the back off of the case. We want to take the case back off, and we want to get the movement out of there. So I'm going to show you how to do that. First of all, you'll need a case removal tool. It's very simple. You can get all kinds of that. You can get them. This one's pretty cheap, so you don't have to spend a whole lot of money on it. What you want to do is you've got these little barbs here, and you want to put them in right there. You want to fit this little piece, rolls these 2 outside and in, and then the bottom, you see the little bottom barb there, this back piece adjusts that. So what you do is just fit it, and you'll just screw it like that. You'll unscrew it counterclockwise, and it should just come right off. Okay, so you're going to unscrew this until you can hear it click a couple times. What I like to do is get a pair of needle nose something. Not pliers, you know what I'm talking about. What are these things called? I can't believe I can't think of that right now. Anyway, it is what it is. Okay, so you see the movement is running. You want to make sure the crown is in all the way. You want to spin this little guy around so you can see this little tiny hole there. Now, you see that little tiny hole right there? Right there. You're going to get a spring bar removal tool. Use this end of it. Don't use that end of it, okay? Don't use that end. Use this end. Okay? What you're going to do, I'm going to remove this seal, this little gasket right here, so we don't damage it. I'm going to set it off here. Okay. So what I'm going to do with the crown pushed all the way in, see if I can do this. You're going to push that little barb there, and you're going to pull the crown out. No, I didn't get it. I'm going to turn it to this side so I can do this. It's a little trickier because you can feel the little pressure on it. So what you want to do is you want to push down, and then it will slide out like so. Okay? This little guy right here will come right out. Set this little guy aside. And then the movement is running. Okay, you can see that little movement is running. But what we want to do, I'm going to put this movement in here. Okay, so I'm going to flip this around. It should just pop out. Now sometimes I have seen where they don't pop out, and you gotta kind of move them around a little bit. But cover your watch case, okay, and then cover your movement and set it aside. I'll set it over here. We don't want dust and all that debris and stuff getting on it. That's the worst thing whenever you put everything back together. When you put everything back together and then you see this one little speck of dust in there, it's going to drive you crazy. You're going to hate yourself. So, all right. So now that we've got the case just by itself, what we're going to do is we're going to remove the bezel. Now I got just regular painter's tape. Now you can get thinner painter's tape than this. You don't need this super thick, but I just grabbed some of this because I had it around. So what I want to do is I want to pull just a little piece off like this. And I want to kind of go and tuck it. All right, guys, I got it, but I definitely screwed my case up. Look at that. Don't do this. You see that little nick? Now, once this goes on top, you're barely gonna be able to see it, but it's just gonna drive me crazy. So what I ended up doing is I got a knife like this, and I stuck that long edge in there, and I just kind of like twisted it just a little bit, and it popped right off. So this guy here, don't use this tool. Do not use this tool to remove the bezel, okay? So don't use this tool. It's too small. You need a longer blade. You need a longer blade to get inside of it and pop it up like that. So just remember that. Oh, now I'm gonna be mad at myself, but at least this is not a, $1,000 watch I'm working on here. I'm working on this other one. So I've got this little press, very simple little press I just purchased. It wasn't but about 30 bucks. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get a, all right, I got it. So basically this 35-38 is just enough to just sit on the outside of this outside bezel. Pushed it, it popped right out. So piece of cake. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to get one that's going to sit on the outside down for the bottom. So this will sit on the outside. It'll sit just fine. It's going to go on the bottom one. And then I want one on the outside that's enough, kind of concave, like this, so it sits on the outside of that dome. Because this is not flat, it's a domed crystal. So this guy is going to go on the top side of it. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be fairly careful not to touch the glass on the bottom side, because I don't really feel like cleaning it right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to press, I'm going to just kind of go around in a circle. Press lightly, keep kind of going around in a circle. Press into where that thing is seated. Very, very good. And I'm going to come in here. I'll come in here and make sure that it's seated the same all the way around. Okay. Now it is pushed in there pretty good. So I'm going to kind of mock fit this guy in there. Yeah, that's gonna work perfectly. Now don't put this piece in until you get this in. Because what's gonna happen is we're not gonna get lined up. We're not gonna get lined up on there, and then it's gonna be like the Seiko thing all over again. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that I've got this seated in. Okay. So glass is seated in. Glass is seated in. It looks beautiful. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece here that we pulled out of the other one. There's a little notch. See this little tiny notch there? That notch is going to go on the top right hand side. Just like that. The notch is going to jump right in there. Now, this guy, we're going to just gently lay this. Now, sometimes you can press that in, just by finger. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to press it in. Since I've got these guys, I'm going to press it in like this. And I'm going to press it with one that is concave like this, because you got to understand is that crystal is domed, and it's going to be pushing up in there. Don't do it with a flat one. If you do it with a flat one, you're going to be real surprised when you shatter the glass, because it pushes on the glass instead of that. You don't understand why. All right, so it should snap. One little quick snap, pretty good. Bezel action is great. Got a little bit of play, but not much. Okay, perfect, beautiful, look at that. It looks great, except my freaking scratch on my watch, but that's okay. All right, so, looks a little different than that. Now this guy drops on there. We're gonna do that after we get the movement back in. Yeah, there's no play. It's gonna look good. It's gonna look sharp. Okay, now the movement. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna bring this movement back. One thing I like to do is make sure before we do anything that this glass is clean on the inside. I might fit this 2 or 3 times, but if you get one little speck of dirt in there, it's gonna just drive you nuts, okay? So I'm going to just jump right over the top of this guy real quick. Set that down in there like that. Put my finger on it. Do a quick little flick of the wrist. And it's gonna dive right down in there. Now, I'm gonna open that back up. Gonna take this little guy. Push it right in there. Now, boom, snaps right in. You can screw it, unscrew it. Should be able to pull the crown out. It stops the movement. Perfect. Go ahead and screw that in. Okay, now I've got this little guy here. Be very, very careful with this. You don't want to smush it. Then your water resistance goes out of the way. So, all right. So you just kind of want to lay it right down in there. Like so. Okay. Take the case back. Just drop it on top and then go counterclockwise. Now you can, if you feel like you got a little, it's gonna kind of, it should be smooth. Then you hear a little pop. Once you hear that pop, then you can go this direction. What it's doing is it's seating itself in there, and you don't have to worry about you know, messing the threads up. So once you got that on there, just somewhat hand tighten, then you're gonna get this, get it on there fairly tight. We'll check all that once we're done. Now, get a little clean cloth here, kind of clean this to where I can see if we're good. What you want to do is make sure that none of this stuff is on the inside, because if it is, you'll take that case back off and you'll kind of blow it out. So now I'm going to get off camera real quick, and I'm going to inspect this crystal so I don't have to do this over and over before we go to the next step. So give me just 5. Okay, I got it. There was a couple little specks in there that I had to get off, so it would drive me crazy. I went ahead and removed the case back again. And so there she is with that black bezel. Looks good. And that double domed crystal looks good on this watch. So now for this guy. Now for the bezel insert. So what we're gonna do is we're going to put the tape on the back of the bezel insert first. There's 2 ways you could do it. I guess you could do it. I guess, either way. You could take this off and then put it around there and then put the bezel, or put it on the bezel, and then I don't know the absolute best way to do it, but I think what I'm gonna do well, let's see if this comes apart. Okay, so I'm gonna take this section out. It's gonna come off. I'm gonna pull this piece. What the heck? That's weird. All right, now that's very weird. Why can't I just get that piece? Oh, Lord. you just want this outside. You just want this outside ring. Obviously the other part is not gonna make a difference. Get a flat surface. Get a flat surface and you're gonna apply it right down to it like that. So you can't see any of it from the outside. So I think that guy right there, it's gonna work. So just drop that in and make sure that it will sit. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get one of these guys ready for the bezel insert, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press it. I'm gonna press it real good once I get it on there. Looks like this guy is gonna work the best. It's probably a 38. So it's gonna work the best. So I'm gonna put this guy on the bottom of the press. That guy on the bottom of the press, because it's very, very level. I can't move it hardly at all. And this is just gonna press on that once I get the bezel insert on. So I'm gonna place this one on the bottom. I'm gonna double check this, if that's correct. Then I'm gonna put this up on the top part of this press. Just make sure my watch slides in there. And then I can press and hold that all the way around at one time, okay? So we're gonna kick this bezel out. Now this is very, very precise. So I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit, but let's see if I can do this on camera. There it goes. Okay, now, this is probably the most precise thing that you're gonna do on this watch. How much is this gonna drive you crazy if you get it off? So, let me zoom in. Okay, we're gonna make sure this thing lines up perfect. What do you think? I think that's about as close as I'm gonna get. So we're gonna put it in the little ties. So there she is in all of her glory there. Look at that, look at that. Now I'm gonna get some close-ups of it, but you can see all my fingerprints and stuff on there. But so we've got the very good clicks. It's a little more loose than the original, which I wish was a tad bit more tight, but there, it does line up. It looks really good on this watch. A double dome sapphire. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get you some close-up pictures of it and see if I can't get some halfway decent pics of it and its new bracelet. Thanks, guys.